This is not just a story about fire. It is a story about silence. Let us remember those innocent lives. Let us learn from this pain. Let us open our hearts and our homes, not just to friends, but to those who may be silently screaming inside. The Gisozi tragedy, a father's last fire. It was a cool and quiet morning in Gisozi, one of Kigali's many neighborhoods resting atop the city's peaceful hills. Children were walking to school. Shops were beginning to open. And families, like many others, were waking up to another ordinary day. But for one family, this morning would end in flames. In a modest house tucked in a narrow corner of the neighborhood, lived a man, his wife, and their children, a father, known to be reserved, not overly talkative, but a man many said was calm, sometimes too calm. Those who knew him say he had recently changed. He was withdrawn. He spent hours in silence. Some believed he was dealing with stress, others assumed it was just life being difficult. No one imagined that behind the quiet demeanor was a storm of pain, confusion, and desperation. That morning, something tragic happened. According to neighbors and early witnesses, smoke began rising from the family's house around 7:30 a.m. At first, people thought it might be a kitchen fire. But within seconds, the smoke turned black, thick, choking, and fast-moving. Then came the screams. Children's screams. Panic spread through the neighborhood. People ran toward the house, trying to break down doors, trying to get inside. But the fire was spreading quickly. The heat was unbearable. Flames leaped from the windows as if the house itself was crying for help. Inside, the men had locked the doors. Later investigations would reveal that he had poured flammable liquid in different rooms before lighting the match. His children were still asleep. He had planned it. By the time rescuers arrived and fire services fought through the blaze, it was too late. Some of the children had perished. Others were severely injured. The man, the father, was found dead among the ashes. His wife, who had stepped out to go to Muzan's district where they used to work together with her husband, returned to find her home in ruins, and her family torn apart. Through tears, she told local reporters, "I don't know what happened. He never told me he was suffering. We had disagreements, yes, like any family, but I never imagined he would do this. My babies, they didn't deserve this." Her voice, broken. Her face, hollow. Grief had no more space to grow.
ngo Breza na Blessing bapfuye se habaye iki ngo bahiriye mu nzu na papa wabo ngo byarangiye numva n'imikino ari kumbwira sinabasha kubyumva.
Neighbors who knew the family were in disbelief. One of them, a man named Jean de Dieu, shared. He was not the kind to talk about his problems. He kept everything inside. Maybe if he had talked to someone, things would be different. We all failed him in some way. Another woman, a neighbor who often played with the children, said, "I still hear their laughter. Just a few days ago, they were playing with my son. And now, they're gone. We must do better. We must listen more closely." As news of the tragedy spread, conversations erupted across Kigali, about mental health, about the silent struggles people face, about how society often ignores signs of distress until it's too late. Mental health experts weighed in, explaining that trauma, depression, and untreated psychological pain can drive individuals to acts that seem unimaginable. They called for greater community support systems, better mental health care, and more awareness in families. The Gisozi tragedy became more than just an incident, it became a wake-up call. Today, the charred remains of the house stand as a reminder. Not just of what happened, but of what could have been prevented. Of the voices that were never heard. And of the help that came too late. This is not just a story about fire. It is a story about silence. Let us remember those innocent lives. Let us learn from this pain. Let us open our hearts and our homes, not just to friends, but to those who may be silently screaming inside. Let no one else walk through fire alone.